Howdy mates, good morning. How are we all doing? It is Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. Right now, I'm actually visiting a new preserve that I have never been to before, even though I've been near it several times. This place is known as the Carlton Reserve, which is basically located in Sarasota County, just south of the Myakka River State Park. I mean, in a sense, it's kind of faster to go to the Myakka River State Park here as opposed to car. In terms of distance, anyways, but not time. But the Carlton Reserve is named after an individual named Marbury Carlton. He was a commissioner for the Sarasota County government. So he actually played a crucial role in actually preserving some of these lands, because he was actually a what you call a cattle rancher. So he basically knew these lands in and out. Now, as part of this video, I wanted to point out this particular plant that I stumbled upon while I was walking through here. Here we go. So I'm sure many of you have seen these before. This is actually something called the Polygala lutea. Now, the genus Polygala means many milk in Latin, and lutea actually means orange. So essentially this plant is known as the Orange Milkwort. However, this is one of many species of milkwort. Now, with that being said, there might be some confusion. Like, why is it called orange milkwort when it is in fact yellow? Well, here's the thing about the plant. Early in its life, it actually produces these orange petals. But as its life progresses further on, give it a few months, they wind up actually turning yellow. So even though the plant was actually named by Carolus Linnaeus, he was the one who developed that, the scientific name system in biology, he actually didn't know until, I think it was after his death, that these plants wind up turning yellow later in its life. So, even though it's called orange milkwort, they do indeed turn orange, but they also turn yellow. So in a sense, they kind of transform, as it were. Now, with that being said, too, the origin of milkwort comes from the fact that it was believed that seeing those plants, at a pasture was actually a good sign, especially for the cows. It is believed that if the cows consumed them, they would produce more milk. And that's really how, Polygala, many milk, came to be, and why it's actually called milkwort in the first place. And the inside of the plant, actually, it produces this like white, sort of like a white sap that sort of resembles milk. But rest assured, it's not in relation to milkweed. That's a whole separate group of plants. So it's actually fascinating about the plant. Earlier in its life, they actually produce these seeds that has an outer covering that's often fleshy and full of sugar. They call those Elaisomes. And the Elaisomes are commonly consumed by our insects, ants. They love them, and they'll carry them as far as they can. And that's why oftentimes you will see them in different areas. So really, to see all of these is due to the work of our ants. So they'll eat that fleshy outer covering, but they won't eat the seed. So essentially, the seed, since it's in a new area, has an opportunity to provide new growth. So it's quite a neat plant. And fascinating enough, the petals themselves are usually about maybe close to 3/4 of an inch. Kind of reminds you of looking at a button in a sense. It's a very complex arrangement. Kind of reminds you of looking at, I don't know, like a hairball. It's like the closest analogy I could use. So yeah, especially this time of the year, you will see that, the orange milkwort is actually very plentiful. And typically, they like to reside in very, what you call, boggy soil. So they like to be near wetlands, pine flatwoods, just areas that have very moist soil. Because they sure do like their water. But here was actually a plant I made a post on this past Friday. This is the shiny blueberry. So, yeah, you can actually see it in person. How about that? Cool, isn't it? Like I said, right now is actually a really good time for all of you to, just go on a hike in a natural area. Just because since we are getting into the spring, we are going to start seeing more blooms. So that's the thing. Even Florida experiences spring too, just kind of in a different sense. So, all right, you guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed this video. And once again, journey on a journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya. Have a great day, you guys.